Good morning, everyone. Kirk and Reese here with Serious Gaming. Hope you all are doing very well today. Today I want to do a review of Cronos: The New Dawn, a game I just went through. I had it on my back burner. Figured I just finished up Resident Evil Requiem a couple weeks ago, so I figured kind of in the mood to do one like this type of game, so I just figured I would go through it. I do enjoy these types of games overall, so this was definitely pretty cool. I was excited to play it. So I'll go over some things I liked, some things I didn't like, an overall rating, and then should you play it. So for some things that I liked, we'll start with the combat and the weapons. They're really cool, really good in this game. Although will say I only mainly went through with just the pistol and the shotgun, and just upgraded both of those throughout the whole game. They were a lot of fun to use, through all the game, just those two weapons, because you can do, not only do you have like regular bullets, you can also charge your shots, and you can upgrade the charging, the stability, your clip size, all that kind of stuff. And then once you get it fully, the charge speed, fully upgraded, it can really charge really fast, which is really helpful later in the game. So those were really cool, but there's a lot of other weapons as well. Those are just the two that I used the most. But they got a lot of other cool things like fire and like little fire bombs, and they got these other little like sticky bombs it's pretty neat. They got a lot of good stuff in there to choose from, all upgradable and everything. So it's pretty neat. The story is also actually really good. It kept me hooked from the whole time, like right from the beginning. The lore of the game is kind of spread out, like mostly through exploring and finding like notes and like stuff written in pages and stuff throughout the world as you're exploring. And it never got boring to read. Very interesting, keeps you engaged. You want to read the next thing. You want to see what's going on. Like if you're in a certain area, each new like little note that you find has like the next step of what you're reading. It like continues the story. It's pretty cool. There's also many interactions with people, so it's not just all reading notes or anything. Definitely an interesting story. It is different. Definitely a different one. A lot of fun to go through, and discover what was going to happen next. It really kept you on the edge of your seat. The game also is definitely a little creepy. They really nailed the atmosphere of that. It was really it was pretty creepy, I will say. It was good. It was a really good game. So the next thing was the exploration, and like and traversal are also really good, and responsive. Like everything just feels good on your controller. And obviously you're a traveler, and as you could tell by the suit in the game, just by the cover, it's a bit heavy. You move a little bit slower. But overall, she moves really good. You get a lot of cool tools that you can use throughout the journey. My favorite were probably the anti-gravity boots. You get to jump around and different platforms and different places after you get them. That's really neat. They're used in a lot of other really cool ways. So it makes exploration a lot funner and a lot more fun to go through. The visuals and graphics in this game are really cool. The places you go are awesome. It's set in like a 1980s Poland. A lot of like dilapidated buildings. You got hospitals, churches, little camps. It's a real treat to look at. Especially when you get like the whole backdrop when you first enter an area and you can see a big building or something. It's really neat. They did a great job on nailing that like post-apocalyptic Poland atmosphere. It's really cool. It's a really they did a great job on the visuals and the graphics in this game. Some things that I didn't like about it. There's really only two things that I can complain about, I would say. One complaint I would say is that would be the lighting. Does seem just a tad bit too dark. I did up my brightness, and eventually did get used to it. You get used to it pretty quick. It just seemed like there were times where you just didn't know what you were doing, where you were going. It just seems like sometimes, like if you didn't have access to your flashlight, it just seems like you couldn't see where you were going. Mostly in the beginning, I would say, was where I felt this the most. But like I said, you do get used to it, so it's just a minor gripe. But I just was a little bit dark. The other thing is the resources, as far as your inventory space. I know that's what these games are known for, limited space, so you can, you got to limit what you use and you got to manage it well. But the limited space in this one was really tough throughout most of the game. I felt I found myself basically like upgrading the next inventory slot. That's be the first thing that I would use all my upgrades for, was to get the next inventory slot so I have extra space. It just feels like, even then, it just really feels like I never had enough space until almost at like the end of the game. You'd have to make several trips back to your storage, multiple times throughout the game. I was doing that just to move one or two slots around, because there's important stuff that you need in your inventory at all times. You got your guns, you got your ammo, you got your health packs, you got things that open doors that, you need. So things like that, you just never know what you're going to need. So sometimes if you fill it up with something and you find a key piece to the game to move on, then you can't even put it in your inventory. You toss something, or you got to make a trek back to storage, which can be a long trek too sometimes. Hey, bud. But yeah, so just that. But like I said, it's part of these games anyway, so it's not really a huge nitpick or anything. So this game overall, I really liked it. It took me a little bit over 15 hours to beat it. And I was going through at a steady pace, still checking everything out. I mean, I'm sure I still missed stuff, but the game was a lot of fun, and I would definitely play it again. I know there's a New Game Plus ending, so I would like to get that as well. I will probably go through that at one point or another, because this was fun to go through. So hold on, let me put him back, and we'll finish this up. Sorry about that. He wanted to go back in, so I put him in real quick. But yeah, so the overall, I've definitely played again. I think for a rating, I think I'm going to give it a solid 8, almost a 9 out of 10. It's a strong 8. I'll give it a strong 8, so like maybe even 8.5 if you want to do halves, but I don't really like to do halves. So I would say a strong 8, almost 9. I think anybody that likes survival horror type games will be happy with this. It really delivers a great story, great combat. It gives you that creepy atmosphere, a really excellent world to explore. And I don't really know what else you can ask for. It was good. It was very good. But yeah, so that's my review for Cronos: The New Dawn. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please subscribe. Please like. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. You have a great day. Thank you.